Hi everybody, a really warm welcome to my channel, Nelly the Narcissist. For everybody that is new, then thank you so much for joining today. And for everybody that is subscribed, thank you so much for all of your support. The topic of today's video that I want to speak about is something that's come to my attention that seems incredibly common for narcissists to do after they've completely blown up and destroyed their relationship and the situation that they were in. Now, a lot of them actually go on the run. This involves a change of location, and they will even go as far as to completely change their appearance and the way that they look. So I want to look at this today, and I want to bring in some of my own knowledge from the past relationship that I had with the narcissist. And I want to consider the less obvious motivation that I believe is a major factor behind this compulsion. And it is on a spiritual level that you might find surprising. So have a listen to my thoughts and leave a comment below also if this has happened to you, if you've experienced the narcissist run away and change location and change appearance perhaps. Or maybe if you've met a narcissist on the other side after they have relocated. Because narcissists are highly sick individuals. They will destroy everything in plain sight, including the best people, the best relationships, and the best life situations that they could ever hope to get. In enough time, they destroy everything because they're time bombs. And they cause chaos and destruction literally wherever they are. Sure, everything starts off great with them, but when you give it enough time in one place with one person, the bomb inevitably explodes, and there's always heavy destruction and casualties that are involved. And for many people, it does take a really long time to recover their lives after relationships with narcissists. And unfortunately, some people don't make it. And this is really serious. These narcissists can be extremely dangerous because they're abusers, exploiters, users, manipulators, thieves, and liars. So they come in, they drain your life, your resources, your energy. They often take you to the very brink of personal destruction. They wreck your life. And then many times they have this overwhelming drive to run like a fugitive away from the wreckage that they've created and caused. And I've heard it spoken a lot in the narcissistic abuse recovery space, and I've seen it for myself. How narcissists are inclined to run away from the destruction that they created. And many of them, like I said, will change geographic location, whether this is going to another town, state, city, country, or even continent. And sometimes they don't only change location, but they will change their entire appearance and almost become like another person, whether this is changing the color of their hair or, the hairstyle, or changing the style of their clothes and fashion, or everything. I remember seeing past photographs of the malignant narcissist that I dealt with. And it was like, honestly, looking at completely different people throughout the years. And of course, people are free to change location and free to change their hair and wardrobe. I'm not saying that. But in this narcissist case, if you've ever experienced it, it was like looking at multiple people. And I remember this sick feeling that I felt when I saw those photographs. And of course, that was my intuition, some warning bells going off. And for context, I will use this as an example, but many narcissists do this. And I want to delve into the motivation behind this need that they have to change location and appearance after blowing up their relationships and their stability. Quite often. At the end of the association that I had with the malignant narcissist, they ran. They went to yet another area far away, and sure enough, they changed their appearance yet again. And they messaged me. And out of the blue, they said that they were now free of any karma in their life. Knowing this particular narcissist and knowing the way that they live their lives and the destruction that they cause for every person that they come into close contact with. When I heard this comment, I didn't know whether to laugh or to cry. Now, I'm speaking to you today, and if you've dealt with a narcissist, I'm sure that you're a good person. But I wouldn't be delusional to say that I'm a saint. None of us are saints. But we're not bad people. But for somebody like a narcissist or even a malignant narcissist to turn around and make this statement that they are free from karma after I know what was done to me, and I know that I was not the first, that is delusional. So I wanted to understand what could possibly be the drive that's behind such delusional thinking. And when I really addressed this, I got a really strong insight actually into why I believe that narcissists do go on the run like fugitives and change location and even how they look. And I think it's fairly obvious, of course, to say that one motivation for any con artist, narcissist or narcopath to change location is obviously for the benefit of going somewhere that they aren't known, where they're free to scam whoever they want. I mean, this is on a basic level. It just makes sense. But you see, the comment or confession that narcissist made to me about being free of any karma, it revealed a much deeper anxiety, fear-based drive. It's my belief that even if the narcissist, whoever that narcissist is, has no spiritual belief, even if they're completely unaware or an atheist, it doesn't matter, they're still driven by fear. And the fear is they know exactly what they do to others. They know who they are. They know truly that they aren't good people, even though, of course, they pretend to be. But they know what they're doing, but they want to be considered on some kind of a childish level where they believe that they should be able to do whatever they want. They can use and destroy anybody if it serves them to do so. And they believe that they shouldn't have to receive any punishment. They feel entitled to do what they do. And they try to justify their wrongdoing and even their evil doing and hope in a childlike, fantastical way that everything bad that they've ever done to anyone will magically disappear. They think that they will be spared the consequences. They think that they can erase it. And the way that they think they have a chance to erase it is if they start over someplace else. For them, this change of location and appearance is like wiping the slate clean. It's like becoming somebody else because they fear the consequences of their actions. Somewhere deep down, and you may have to go very deep down, even though they try to crush this voice that they have, they do have a little niggling voice within them that is desperately afraid that at some point karma is going to catch up with them. And narcissists, they consider themselves to be so smart, so beyond the realms of this earth, beyond the realms of this universe even. They feel on a godlike level. They do. They feel that they make the rules. Other people, simple people like you and me, we're bound by the laws of the universe. Like what goes around comes around. But they think and they feel that they shouldn't have to be. They don't feel that they should have to be bound by any rules or laws. And this makes them think that they can outrun and outsmart karma. They think that with distance and a new life, they won't have to face the consequences of the past. That is what they desperately hope for. But even though, like I said, they convince themselves that they can get away with anything and everything that they do, and they shouldn't have to pay any price or consequence, there still is another voice within them. And as I said, that is the one that's making them run through fear. Believe me, they only run like fugitives because they know deep down that the inevitable is coming. They can't try to put it off. I mean, they do try to put it off, but it will catch up with them because they're doing the same thing over and over and over. They're a wrecking ball. Wherever they are, it's the same. It isn't a prosperous way to be. It leads to destruction every single time. And it wouldn't be so bad if actions that you do destroy you and they don't hurt anybody else. But their destructive and disgraceful way of life benefits them and is designed to destroy others. They don't care who it harms. And as long as it benefits them, that's what makes them bad people, is their lack of love and empathy and kindness and goodness, of course. They don't abide by any moral, ethical code. They willingly hurt people, and not only people, but really good people, because they target good people because they need their virtues. And good people, especially empaths and those that are highly empathic, are usually very generous. They're very kind and giving, and they don't see narcissists coming, because they haven't got the faintest clue that these wicked beings exist. We take people at face value. We don't realize that some people have got evil intentions. So narcissists and psychopaths will raid these individuals, their lives, and steal as much as they can before they complete their destructive cycle and move on to another victim to do exactly the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. For any healthy person, we understand, of course, this isn't a way to live life. We're able to see that it's destructive and we don't get anywhere and we don't want to hurt others. We just go round and round in circles. It's not pleasant. It doesn't feel good to do this for a healthy person, of course. There is no long-term gain. And in the process, so much harm and damage gets created and is done to others. We would be really stupid to think that we could just continue and wipe the slate clean and just disassociate with what we've done without any kind of consequence. The narcissist saying to me that they were now free of karma, it communicated with me just how much fear narcissists internalize. And they try their best to get rid of it and justify their actions and reframe themselves and cling to the fact that they're the good guy or the good girl. The victim, of course, works the best because the victim can't be the abuser. The victim can't face consequences because it wasn't their fault. Someone else is always to blame. And you see how much the narcissist is constantly trying to shift their blame and the weight of responsibility to another person. It's usually you. They're trying to be free from their karma. And that's why I say narcissists are very childish, because as mature adults, we know what is ours, and we will need to face ourselves and our consequences of the choices and actions that we do at some point. We know that. I'm sure we know that location and appearance changes cannot offset that because we're still the same person. We know the past always catches up with us eventually. You can't outrun it. You can't. You have to own your life because it's yours. No one else can do that. The spotlight is on you and what you're going to do with it. And like I said, even if the narcissist doesn't have or claim to have any spiritual belief, they become more and more fearful the older that they become. And why is that? Because they're terrified of death, because they're terrified of facing themselves. So they're very aware of what they do. Otherwise, the deep-seated fear wouldn't be present. They know that they will have to pay. And no matter how much they run, how fast they run, or how far they run, or what disguise, they wear, they could put on a trench coat, glasses, and a fake beard. The past will always catch up with them sooner or later. And they're afraid of this deeply, which spurs on their location and appearance changes. There's a large number of narcissists that do run like fugitives after they've blown up their relationship. But there are some obviously that don't run away, and they are the ones that are usually established within their communities. Then obviously the stakes are much higher and they wouldn't want to leave. They wouldn't want to leave the town. So instead, they'll go on a smear campaign and a character assassination that will try to force you out so you don't ruin their reputation. But I wanted to discuss this today because it came to my attention that this drive that narcissists have to go on the run and change appearance that's frequently happening. The insight that I had into the narcissist's deep-seated anxiety and fear of facing karma struck me as a core main motivator of why these individuals actually do this. Because like I said, going somewhere new and changing appearance is fairly obvious why, what the benefits are of doing that. If you're a scammer and you con people, obviously it's easier to do that in places where you're not known. But I really do believe, actually I'm convinced that there is this deeper spiritual drive to this. Now I want to share something that Paramahansa Yogananda said, and if you don't know who he was, he is known as the father of yoga in the West, and he started the Self-Realization Fellowship. Now, a disciple once was a little bit perplexed about good and evil, about being a good and virtuous person versus just being a bad person. And he asked Paramahansa Yogananda, if God loves everyone, like you're saying, then why basically strive to be a good and virtuous person with moral values and kindness? Why not just be a selfish, cruel, bad person? It's easier to be selfish. It's very easy to be a bad person. It requires zero effort. And Paramahansa Yogananda actually chuckled. And he replied, if you play the villain's role in the story, then you'll have to suffer the same villain's fate. Now, this actually comes from a larger Paramahansa Yogananda quote, and I want to share it with you because it seems really relevant. He said, he or she who is enticed by delusion to play the villain's part must suffer the villain's sad karmic fate, whilst the hero receives the hallowed reward of his or her virtue. The narcissist will receive their fate. They believe that they're running away from it, but they have no idea that they're actually running straight into it. That is all that I wanted to say for today's video. So do let me know your thoughts by leaving a little comment below. And please do help me out, as always, by liking and sharing this video with anybody that you think that it might help. And remember, this is also the home of comedy skits that I write and I produce to raise awareness about narcissistic abuse in these relationships. And it's meant to be edutaining, which is entertainment that's also educational. So if you haven't checked that out, then I've got one right above that's related to this video. And coming up at the end, I've got another podcast that you might like. So thank you all so much for watching. Take care, sending love, and I'll see you all again next week.